All right. What is going on, everyone, on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. And in today's stream, we are actually going to be discussing just a little update about how I have been doing so far. It's been about 2 months now since I started trading these micro E-mini futures. You guys know they came out back in May. I didn't really start hitting on them personally until about mid-June, and now it's August, so literally about 2 months ago we started trading these micro E-mini futures, paper trading them, of course, for now, until I begin to start full-on trading them probably here within the next month, roughly, month or so is the goal. But with that, we will just go ahead and hop on in, and let me just make sure really quickly we are doing all right. So it shows we are up and going. So, and by the way, I don't know if you guys can tell, but we do have a new microphone finally after a long ordeal with the other mic, and then obviously we switched to just the camera mic and whatnot, but we finally do have a good microphone bought, so video should go back to normal, good quality, all that good stuff. And first and foremost, before we hop into everything, if you're new to the channel, definitely start hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here and add you to our awesome network of like-minded people. We have about 700 of you now. We'd love to hit 700 possibly within the next week or so. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you like the stream, definitely make sure to smash the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Or if you don't, then hit the thumbs down. Either way, it's just all about the engagement, of course. So like I said, we started trading the micro E-mini futures paper trading with Thinkorswim roughly 2 months ago now. And you can see our profit loss on the day is about $107. We played a little bit, a couple day trades here and there. Right now we are short the market. Have that on a pretty tight leash. I figured if I go down 50 bucks, I'll probably go ahead and sell that position. Where I got in, of course, was at 24.75, so right around 29.25 is where I got in. Market's currently right around 29.30.50. I believe this is going to be slightly behind because it's going based off of the whole delayed data, but if you look at your chart is not delayed, it's just this that's going to be slightly delayed. Right now we're at 29.30.25, so I'm down roughly about 5.5 points roughly. So that means, of course, sorry about that, I got something in my throat, but I'm down roughly about 25. It might actually be right. I'm down right around $25 right now. So if it gets up another 5 points or so, then I would go ahead and close that position out, take the loss, and move on. But overall on the day, we are up $105. I seem to have something in my throat tonight. But I keep trying to figure out for you guys how I can see my. I don't want my profit loss day. I want my profit loss for the month. But I'll just go ahead and pull it up on my phone and show it to you guys, just kind of where we're at so far year to date trading the micro E-mini futures. So year to date, so the past 2 months now, I really started doing it a lot more here within the last month, but just to keep it honest with you guys, the last 2 months now, we are up year to date $4,933.75, and obviously that's changing minute by minute as the market moves with the short that I'm at. But if you look, I'll try to make sure that I got it right for you guys there on the webcam. Make sure we got it right there. So MES, like I said, we're up about 4,900 and some change, and obviously changing day by day. And pretty much what I do for the most part is I try to keep it realistic. I try to literally, like right now, I have a one position short, meaning I'm betting on the market continuing to go down overnight. And I keep it relative to what I will actually be using, which I suggest you guys do, obviously, whenever you do paper trading, just because they give you $200,000 of buying power, or $100,000, whatever platform you're using for paper trading, just because they give you that money, quote unquote, for paper trading doesn't mean you have to use it. I always say keep it in perspective. Have there been times where I trade like 5 contracts, or there was even one time where I traded like 15 to 20 or something like that for an experiment earlier in the week? Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, I try to keep it relative to what I will actually be starting out with, and what more than likely a lot of you guys will be starting out with, which is 1 or 2 contracts more than likely, because we're talking $700 essentially per trade. So a lot of people I know are starting with roughly $1,000 or less when they're trading, and I know I will be whenever I start using my actual money to trade futures as well. So it's just all about keeping it relative, and that's really what I've been doing for the most part lately. I try to keep it right around 1 to 5 positions. Usually I'm trading 1 or 2 now, and I'm trying to literally keep myself essentially from buying more than one now, just to kind of see the real results of, hey, I'm in right now, this is how much I'm down. Earlier this morning, I sold for like $100 of profit on a long that I held overnight. Should have held it longer, could have held it longer, but because I knew the market was probably going to keep going up, I just didn't know how much. Of course, obviously hindsight's 2020. You can't really predict the market having like a 2% up day. Doesn't really happen too often, right? So I was happy to take my profit, roughly $100 on a $700 position. That would be what? Roughly, I'm just calculating it here real quick for you guys on my phone just because it's quicker. 100 divided by 700. You're talking a 14 to 15% profit right there. So, I mean, won't complain about that. I'll take that any day of the week, of course. But I'll be interested. We'll go ahead and pull up here how the market's doing overall. So, and the reason why I believe that the market's going to pull back a little bit tomorrow is just you can see we started to approach, or we were seeing signs of overbought. MACD starting to indicate that as well on our 1 hour chart. And I mean, we've had a hell of a comeback ever since the little drop that we had earlier in the week, as expected, right? Every time we have these little corrections, I wouldn't even call this one a correction, but every time we have these dips, we have a huge comeback. And we've been on a good tear for about 3 days now, which is average. I mean, you can see back in May, June, we had the same thing. We had the fall, and then we had a good 3 to 4 day rise before we had a little minor pullback. So I'm essentially betting on just a little bit of a minor pullback here to end the week or possibly Monday. Not betting on nothing crazy. I'm thinking right around 0.5% to maybe 0.75% at the most. Again, nothing too major, but as of now, from where we are standing, that would be my average buy cost is $29.24.75. So we'll just say from where I want it to go. I would consider, honestly, I'm just looking for a very minor profit in all honesty. I was hoping to day trade this, but it's kind of turned into a little bit of a longer. I might have to hold overnight. I'll let you guys know in Discord what I decide to do, if I'm going to close it before I go to bed or if I end up holding overnight. We'd only need about a 0.16% move to the downside from where we bought, but from where the market's currently at, which is 29.30, you're talking roughly about 1/3% move to the downside. So pretty much double what we're at right now. We're talking about a roughly 10-point move to the downside is what we are expecting. Again, nothing major. Right out of the gate, we had literally about a 20-point drop. So, I mean, it can happen for sure. Obviously, it drops a lot quicker than it seems to go up. But what kind of did it for us here was when we had this shoot up. We've kind of been, ever since the pop-up that we had earlier in the evening, we've kind of hung just right around. They've pinned it pretty much right at 29.30 for the time being. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, if worse comes to worse, I'll just either break even or cut my losses. I broke even a couple times. These 2 times right here is where, or 3 actually, it's touched my buy point 3 or 4 times now, and I consider just going ahead and getting out of that position, but something just tells me that if we test this again and we break it, we could definitely see that quick drop to the downside. So again, I'll see what happens. I'll probably stay up another couple hours anyways, so we will see what happens. But let me go ahead and make sure we're doing all right. We got 2 of you joining right now. But yeah, like I said, guys, overall for the last 2 months so far, we are up roughly $5,000 almost. Hopefully by possibly the end of the week, I doubt it, but by the end of the week, which will be tomorrow, of course, we might even surpass $5,000. We're up $4,932, something like that currently. So it would take a modest gain, whichever direction that we decide to go in tomorrow. But definitely possible. If not, then we will hit that next week for sure. And like I said, for those of you that aren't in our Discord group chat, I definitely hope you consider joining that. It's totally free. It's super easy to join. You can download the app Discord on your Google smartphone, any type of smartphone, Android, Apple, of course. And then once you download that app, just click the link down in the description and it'll take you right to our group, or at least it should. It's super easy to join. There's literally about 100 of us in there, like 98 or 99 last time I looked. So if you're one of the next members to join, you will push us over 100 members in there, which is awesome. It's just awesome to keep building that network and communicating with a bunch of like-minded people on a daily basis. A ton of you guys in there having some good trades this week too. So that's awesome to see. But for the overall market, like I said, we go over to ES whenever we're talking about the overall market. Moves hand in hand with MES. For those of you that don't know, MES is the micro mini E-mini future. So when you're looking at ES, MES is going to move the same way. How's it going there, Luis? Long time no see. But as for the overall market, we've had a pretty good little comeback here the last few days. I just wouldn't be surprised to see us have a little 0.5% to 1% pullback. Just a tiny little pullback on Friday, possibly. Either that, or I would not be surprised if we have a red to green day. We start out the day kind of red, about where we're at right now, 0.3 to 0.5% down, and then we end up going positive and having like a 0.25% move to the upside type of day. That would not surprise me. Either way, I will probably end up going long, possibly into the weekend. It just depends on how the charts are shaking out by the end of tomorrow, and if they look promising, then I'll probably go back to the long side again over the weekend. If not, then I'll just wait till Sunday night and decide to hop in on the Sunday night stream. Well, on Discord, Luis, it's more so just like a live chat, something where like I can hop in there doing the voice chat, which I haven't done in a while actually, but I plan to in the near future. And then there's also like a text chat. I'm in there a lot more often, of course, because I mean I can hop on there on my job while I'm at the job and all that stuff, kind of check in with you guys, update you guys on my trades, all that good stuff. YouTube, however, obviously I can't be on YouTube at work doing live streams and whatnot, but whenever in the near future, literally near future here in the next 6 months, whenever I start my own business, which I will be discussing much more in the future with you guys, whenever I start my own business in the industry that I'm currently in, I'll have a lot more time here and there to hop on, do some live streams with you guys again, which I'm definitely looking forward to. And by then I will be actually trading with my real money for the micro mini futures. But as of now, just doing paper trading. And by the way, of course, my baby's going to be here any day now. I probably won't do much in terms of live streaming YouTube like during market hours. That first week, I'm taking about a week off, then going back to work, and then I'm taking the entire month of September off to be with my family. During that month, I'll probably hop on here and do a couple live streams here and there. I'll try to do probably 2 a week at least with you guys. But yeah, Discord, it's just more so of a chat, like a group chat type of thing where we just bounce a bunch of ideas off of one another and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's gonna be a roller coaster, I'm sure. But yeah, I can only take a week off. I have to like use my vacation, then I have to go back to work because I hit my 1 year at my job at the end of the month. So once I hit my 1 year, I can use the whole FMLA thing, and I'm gonna take about a month off just to kind of have that time with my family, all that good stuff. Just adjust to the new life, and not to mention get a break from work too, because summer is crazy at my job, to say the least. Crazy is an understatement. But when we look out even further, guys, going to the whole weekly chart, like I said, I will be interested to see what plays out over the coming weeks. We might be, I'm not looking really further back than going into 2019, but going into 2019 we can see shoulder here, head possibly trying to form here, and I'll be interested to see if we form that shoulder, because then obviously if we do, we'll break to the downside. Honestly, what I want to see is for the market kind of continue on downward just a little bit over the next week or so. Maybe retest 2780, somewhere in that range. And then for the bear case, obviously, if you want to have that head and shoulders form, have us bounce, retest all-time highs again, and then ultimately roll over. But for the bull case, we would like to see us, obviously, if we probably will end up retesting at least 2,800 again, in all honesty, at some point in the near future. That's just a given. I would not be surprised if we do that. But retest 2,800-ish, bounce off of that, and then just keep on going and making new all-time highs again. I don't think we're going to make all-time highs anytime soon. Yes, we've had a good bounce. We're only about 100 points from the all-time high, but don't be naive enough to think that we're going to go back to all-time highs within the next week. It's just not going to happen. We see this time and time again. We have these dips, and then we have a good little bounce, and then we dip again. Same thing kind of happened here. We had a dip, bounce, dip again, and then obviously we had a tear to start the year. First quarter of the year or so was amazing. Then we had a little reality check, and now we're kind of deciding, are we going to go into a correction, or are we going to bounce and continue higher? So, I mean, there's obviously tons of ways this could play out. It's impossible to completely predict what's going to happen over the next 6 weeks roughly, which is when I think everything's going to play out. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys the scenarios that I possibly see. I see 2 or 3 scenarios really playing out. Yeah, SPY and ES, I mean, they've been on a tear. Literally, I mean, we had, 2 horrible down days, Monday, Tuesday, I believe, if we go back to the daily chart. Because we kind of started this going into Wednesday, Thursday with the whole Fed's BS, and then we had the whole Trump trade war tweets and all that stuff, and then obviously what was this Monday? Let me see. This would be the Friday session, Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah, Monday was when we had the huge flush, of course. Wednesday is when it all started, and then we kind of just continued into the week. We've had a good bounce. I mean, we've literally bounced, about 5% at least so far? Yeah, 5 to 5.5%. That's, again, why I think we're just due to come back down a little bit. I mentioned this, I believe, in our stream. It was I think it was Monday, actually. Monday or Tuesday when we did a stream. I mentioned, man, if you literally just bought, and I honestly wish I did. I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter because, I mean, I was still day trading and made good profit going in and out, doing the whole long here, short there, long here, short there. But literally, guys, if you had just bought near the bottom of this dip and you held till about where we're at right now, you would have had 150, talking about micro mini futures here, not the actual E-mini, but from a micro mini standpoint, 150 point gain. Pull the calculator up here for you guys. I was doing it on my phone, but I just want to show you guys the power of these micro E-mini futures. If you don't know, like, the whole thing with the micro E-mini futures, so micro E-mini is going to move the same as the E-mini, which is what we're on right now. The micro E-mini is MES. It's just the micro E-mini of the S&P 500. Like we said, it moves the same. So, I mean, if you bought near the bottom, which, I mean, never happens. Let's give you 2,800, for example. If you bought in at 2,800 and sold essentially right now, right around 2,930, you would have had about 135 point gain. Let's just say 130 to keep it simple. For every point the S&P 500 moves, the micro E-mini S&P 500 moves, you're going to make or lose $5. And if you were long, you'd have made $5 per point that the market went up. So 130 points times $5, you'd have made $650 just in the last, about 3 days, roughly? If you just literally sold today, and it takes roughly $695 to get in. So you're talking about literally almost doubling your money. Yeah, I know you're going to have your fees and commission of a couple dollars, say knock $5 off, whatever. You're still talking about 90% plus profit. That's amazing. That's just the power of these futures, guys. I mean, you're talking about roughly a 5 to 5.5%, less than a 5.5% move to the upside in the market, but almost 100% return on your money just by putting it into futures versus just passively investing your money into index funds that would have only returned you about 5% over the last few days. So, made over $500 on ES and $100 on SPY. Yeah, that's a good day right there. $600. That's what I'm talking about, Luis. And which platform are you still Are you still doing the AMP futures or whatever, Luis, or are you back on the Ninja Trader? Or I don't know if you were ever on Ninja Trader, but yeah, that's a good day right there, $600. So I mean, that's just the proof in the pudding, guys. I mean, you can literally, and that's what I'm actually Tastyworks. Okay, yeah, I'll be using Tastyworks for my futures account too. Once I start trading with my actual money and AMP futures, and the AMP futures saying for some reason I haven't had a hell of a time with them. It's just, I don't know. It's different for one, and it's just kind of hard to figure out for some reason. But anyways, so I mean that's just the proof of the pudding, guys. I mean, literally, if you just want a quote unquote passive trading or investing type, short term investing type of style, you could literally just sit and wait for the market to dip a little bit, buy the dips, and just sell the rips. And I mean, literally, I mean, you can do this stuff like weekly. Like, here's an example right here. You had a little dip in the market. Even if you bought it right here, say you waited for this little dip right here and you bought at 29.22, 29.23, and you held it for about a week roughly. There you go, 7 days right there. You had a 75-point move. Now that's a pretty decent move. Let's just say you sold right there 6 days. You're still talking about a 50-point move to the upside. Pull our calculator back up. 50 points times $5, 250. Your investment is roughly $6.95. So you're still talking about 36% return on your money in 6 days. So you are talking about 6% per day on your money. I'll take that easy cake any day of the week. And I mean, you can go through and see this time and time again. The market always has little dips, obviously. So I mean, this is just a great trading style, in my opinion, for a directional market, an uncertain market. In an uncertain market, you can make even more money. But in a directional market, a low volatility market, you can still make good money on these. Literally, if you're in a low volatility directional market like we were earlier this year, where the market was literally just, we have to go back to ES because the micro wasn't available at that time. But we go back to like around this time of the year where the market just really wasn't too volatile. We had little dips, of course, but I mean, just imagine if you, like, let's just zoom in, for example, right here. So let's say during this period, I think this is a whole quarter essentially, from January to June. So actually 5 months. This is a 5-month period, and you can see we're just in a directional market. If you just bought a dip, sold every week essentially, you just bought the red days, then I mean you can definitely make some good money in just a directional low volatile market. And then obviously once volatility picks back up, you can make even more money. Like, I wouldn't say get too passive with it either, guys. Like, obviously, like I said, buy and manage your investment. Once you're at have a target profit going in. Once you hit it, either get out or reevaluate the overall position. Take a look at the market. How do you feel about the market? Like, say you were up, say you had bought this dip right here, for example, and you were up here, right around the peak right here. Say you saw this right around 29.25. You're up 127 points. Up 127 points times $5. You're up 127 times 5. You're up 6. You've almost doubled your money, and that was in like what amount of time? Roughly a month. So in a month, you doubled your money. Like, sometimes you just got to step back and reevaluate. And this is just if you're buying and holding, not like necessarily trading, because in a directional market it's a little bit harder to actually quote unquote trade, of course. But like, you hold that, you doubled your money in a month. Like, do you really want to risk something happening? You take a look at the market, you're like, okay, we're starting to show signs of pretty overbought. Like, the market could go down. Like, just evaluate the market, evaluate your position, and don't ever be afraid to take profit off the table. If you doubled your money, don't be a fool. Take the money off the table. You can always, the market's not more than likely going to close tomorrow. I think we always get fear of missing out, FOMO, that, okay, well, I could have squeezed another $50. I could have squeezed another $200. Like, okay, you could have, but you could have just as easily lost about $100 on this day alone. of your 635 that you had locked in the bag. So instead of 635, you had to settle for about 500 or 550. So you just always got to keep that in mind. Never be afraid to take money off the table. And the beauty is with futures, you don't have PDT. So you can literally day trade these all day long, make $50 here, $50 there, $100 here, $25 there. Just from what I've noticed with the micro minis, guys, is with fees and everything, you do want a solid, at the minimum, I would say, about a 5 to 10 point move in your favor before you cover your profit, or else your fees are going to eat up quite a bit of it. So just keep that in mind too with whatever broker you go with and whatnot. But yeah, just to recap, I'll get it pulled back up here on my phone for you guys. For those of you that are like just tuning in, welcome, of course. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and turning that bell notification on. That way you'll be notified every time we go live and upload another video. And if you're liking the stream so far, definitely make sure to smash that like button. And if you're not, then hit the thumbs down. I don't care which one you hit. It's just all about that engagement at the end of the day. We still got 2 of you tuning in. But yeah, so far we're still down. It looks like market's come back down a little bit. We're down. I don't know how updated that is. I got in at 24.75. We're at 26.75, so we are down 2 points. So we're actually down $10 right now. So this is behind. This is behind because it is delayed data. But if you look at the chart, we are down 2 points, so we're down $10 right now in that position. Still up over $100 on the day. And for the year, or quote unquote for the last 2 months since I started paper trading these micro and mini futures, we are now up $4,950. And like I said, the goal is to reach 5,000 by the end of the day tomorrow. We're now at 4,955 and counting. Market is actually coming down pretty quick. We're actually only down about $6 on this position now. So I'll be watching it pretty closely. I'm actually going to set some alerts here. So for those of you that are new and don't really know a lot about TD Ameritrade, you're about to get a little lesson. So to set an alert, you just do create alert, single. I want to be alerted when this thing goes below 29.25. That way I can at least make my money back. I got a good feeling they're going to try to bounce it here soon because we're starting to kind of go oversold on the minute chart. 20-day, 1 hour. Still overbought. So this is why I'm considering holding this position overnight, guys. The 1 hour chart is showing signs of overbought, and we're starting to kind of show signs that we are going to start going into some selling on our MACD. DMI isn't really showing us a whole lot right now, but RSI is still pretty up there. We're in the 60s still, so we could easily come down a little bit. I would love to see us come down. Why I got in this short, in all honesty, was I would love to see this come down to about 2,900. That would be roughly a 25-point move, which is $125 of profit. Boom, that puts us over $5,000 profit over the last 2 months, and that would be a happy Griffin. So mention that you want to yeah, I keep hearing that. Just another reason not to ever vote for a Democrat. I'll probably get some hate for saying that, but it is what it is. If you are a working citizen, I never understand why you'd want to vote Democrat. They're not even the Democratic Party anymore. They are the Socialist Party. That's what I call them. They just want to take your money and gain control. That's what it's all about for them. That's just my 2 cents. That's what they've said. I mean, they literally want to tax you more. They say tax the rich. They want to tax everybody. It is what it is. It's just one of those things. But that's why you will never see this guy voting for them, at least until they pull their heads out of their ass. If they ever pull their heads out of their ass and they come with some good candidates that actually don't just spew a bunch of garbage, then I would consider. I'm not a Republican. I'm just pro stay the hell out of my life. Let me make my money. Don't try to tax the hell out of me for all this free shit they want to give out. And don't try to take my guns. And then we'll be happy. But how's it going there, Danny? But yeah, that party's gone a little bit way too far, as in off the cliff, too far left. And I don't call it the Democrat Party no more. It's more of the Socialist Party. But don't want to get too political. Just that's kind of my 2 cents on that. But how's it going there, Danny? And like I said, hopefully the stream quality has been a little bit better. We finally did update our mic situation. And for those of you just tuning in, like I said, we are up roughly 4,950 now. in the last 2 months, paper trading. You can see that right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm just putting the phone up to the camera. Yeah, hopefully you guys see that all right. Roughly 4,950 is what we're up right now, and the goal is to push over 5,000 by the end of tomorrow, hopefully. 77 figures. How's it going? What was the initial account balance to open Thinkorswim? TradeStation. Wait, TradeStation. I don't know about TradeStation personally. TradeStation has horrible fees and everything from what I've heard. Their commission rates and everything are ridiculously high from what I've heard. But Thinkorswim, to get Thinkorswim, you do not have to have any account balance. I have a video about this actually that I posted about a year ago. That's like my best video actually. It's got like over 9 or 10,000 views. It should be a suggested video, hopefully. 7 figures, but you should not have to open with any balance whatsoever for TD Ameritrade to get the Thinkorswim platform. Like I mentioned a minute ago, like literally I have this whole platform for free, and I didn't have to like put any money in the account whenever I signed up my account, as I described in that video, and I walk you guys step by step, if I remember right, through how to sign up and get the Thinkorswim platform and all that for free. Like once you get to the point where you fund your account, if you scroll down, there's an option to save and continue later, and then from there you can get the Thinkorswim platform. But to actually do micro E-mini futures, to answer this part of the question, like for TD Ameritrade, for example, if we hop over here, it'll show you on the paper trading platform. Say I wanted to buy right here at 26.75. We will do buy, single. So see, just as an example, the cost of the trade is, so obviously you have your commissions and whatnot is $2.25, which I think when you're actually trading with real money, it's like $3 or $4 maybe. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh shit, since I'm shorting, it won't show you the actual cost. Pretty much it's like $695 if you're doing it on TD Ameritrade, if you're doing it on Tastyworks, I believe. Which, if you don't know what Tastyworks is, it's a much cheaper trading platform when it comes to like options and everything. I believe I have a link that shows like their whole commissions and everything. If you click the link in the description box, I believe it shows you a layout of all their commissions and everything. But yeah, to get in, the initial margin requirement is like $694 right now if you want to like hold that position overnight, which is like, if you were to say you bought the position during the intraday, like 2 p.m. for example, 2 p.m. Central Time or Eastern Time, whatever, and you wanted to hold it, you'd have to have like $693 or something like that in the account. Had some good trades today. That's awesome to hear there, Danny. Ant futures are cheap. Yeah, and the Ant futures are also really cheap. I personally don't know a whole lot. I can't suggest them just because I've never really used them, and I don't know a whole lot about them. The platforms are, it depends which platform you end up going with, but I tried to set up my MetaTrader, and I don't know. I personally didn't like it. It seemed too clunky of a setup, but yeah, I mean, they definitely have cheap contracts, but Luis can correct me if I'm wrong. You still have to have your initial requirement of like over $600 or $700, because again, if you hold that position overnight, you have to have an initial requirement. It's set by CME Group, I believe, if I remember right. So just something to keep in mind. But see, they keep doing it to me. They keep on doing it to me. Every time this thing tries to pull down, pulls down right to around where I bought in, and then they pull it back up a little bit. But honestly, guys, I'm thinking about holding this position overnight, because that 20-day 1-hour chart, which I use a lot for my short-term trades where like I'm holding overnight or something, this chart has almost always played in my favor, no matter if I'm going long, short. That's how I'm up almost $5,000 in the last 2 months. This 20-day 1-hour chart, whenever I'm trying to hold for longer than an hour or so, it's helped me tremendously because, I mean, you can see, I mean, heavily oversold, of course. If you bought here, boom, you made some good money, which I did. And then right in here, I was kind of playing it mostly day trade. Then I mean, anyone could have seen this when it happened. You saw a little double top here, short it temporarily. I actually got out a little too early, if I remember right, when that happened. That was one of my better trades. How's it going there, Casey? Good evening, or maybe good morning, depends where everyone is. For me, it is currently going on 9:30 p.m. Starting to get a little bit on the late side for me. But literally, the 1 hour chart, it helps you, at least me, in my experience, it helps tremendously with these shorter term, like overnight trades that I'm going to hold. So this chart alone is making me want to hold my short position overnight. But again, we will see what happens. Right now, we're currently down. We're in at 24.75, so we're down about, 3 or 4 points. So we're down roughly $15-20 right now. 7:30 in LA. Yeah. So it's not even dark in Los Angeles yet. So, and hopefully the stream has been doing all right. We did finally get a new microphone, like I keep saying. I mean, I'm so glad we finally got the mic situation figured out. Hopefully the quality and everything is perfect. I tuned it and whatnot in my little streaming software, so it should be pretty good. But if anything ever goes wrong, you guys can definitely let me know. But if you all have any last questions or anything, or ticker symbols, even if you want me to take a look, just shout it out there in the chat, and I'll definitely be glad to chat it up with you guys, or look at any stocks, or answer any questions. If you have any questions, if it's specifically about micro e-mini futures, I'd be glad to talk about that. But if you have any other ticker symbols you want me to take a look at, or just any general questions, definitely just shout it out in the chat. Or even if you're watching this after the video uploads, because that's where most of the views for this come from. If you have any questions after this video uploads, you can shout it out in the comments, and let me know in the comments how you've been doing so far in August, and what your targets are and whatnot. But so let's see here. Casey said GDX. Let's get that pulled up. GDX entry at 30.25. Let's get this pulled up here. Whoa, man, that thing is up pretty high. 30.25 with a stop loss. $2.50 with a price target of 37.50. About a 3-to-1. So I like that ratio. I don't know how long you've been following me, Casey, but I know that I've been preaching a little bit now that a good ratio to go with any type of investing, especially with the futures, but with any kind of trading, a 3-to-1, that's a good ratio. I don't really have a huge problem with this stock, other than that, I mean, when anything gets near all-time highs, I don't know a lot about this stock personally. But let's see, this is silver mine. This is an ETF. Okay, so this is a gold mine. So this has to deal with gold. So that explains why it's up so much lately. So kind of erase everything I said there about a stock being at all-time highs, because I know this isn't going to be all-time highs. This is a gold ETF, or at least I believe it's not. Let's go back to 3. Yeah, this isn't all-time highs for this. So just scratch what I said there a minute ago. This is gold. So with gold, I kind of take everything with gold, silver, all that with a grain of salt, because you're kind of betting on how the economy is doing overall, how like the whole trade war thing kind of heated stuff up. Just a lot of things going on right now that's causing this to go up. I'm not saying that it's on its last leg or anything. Just don't be surprised that if the market continues to kind of turn around, then this thing could go south. I do like your stop loss 250. I think that's definitely good enough. That would put you, let me see, you said 30.25. So that put you down roughly at 27 something, which makes sense, yeah, because it should find some support right around like $28, and if it goes below 28, I would definitely get out. So yeah, I like your ratio right there. I think you're right on track for sure. 30 your price target is a little bit of a stretch. 37.50. Let me get another time frame going. Let's go to 20 years. So this thing hit 67, which is the 20-year high back in 2011. And if I remember right, 2011, there was a bit of stuff going on back then. So, I mean, you're betting on quite a bit going on with the economy and whatnot. Honestly, if this thing got above 32, I wouldn't mind covering some profit. Depends on your position size and whatnot. Just beware with that one. I personally think 33 is a good price target. At that point, I know your ratio is more like 1-to-1, 2-to-1, but that's up to you. The whole target thing, that's completely up to you. As long as you know your exit, where on the downside, where literally like this is the bottom line that I will accept and I'll dump, then that's what matters most. 7 figures, Ninja Trader for the micros. They don't have a mobile platform, and like Thinkorswim, and since I got an F5. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean for sure. Yeah, Thinkorswim, by far, and yeah, I mean everything you said definitely makes sense. I'm in the same boat. It makes it easier to trade from work, from home at night, all that good stuff. But yeah, you should be able, like I say, you should be able to sign up without putting money in. It sounds like they've made it harder recently for people to figure out. I have some comments on that video about people having issues still with it, but as long as you follow, I believe I did it like step by step in that video, and as long as you do it step by step, you shouldn't run into that issue. The video has a lot more likes than dislikes, so I would say it's worked more than it hasn't for most people. So if you have any issues, just go check out that video. It should be the search, one of the first videos that come up if you type in how to get Thinkorswim for free on YouTube, something like that. It should pop up in the top 5, I believe, in that search. But yeah, I definitely get what you mean for sure. NUGT, that's another gold one, I believe, right? Yeah, it's another gold one. Your price target is 58. Another 3-to-1 essentially ratio, stop of 42. Let me see. You said, hold on, stop loss of 550. So 550 would be pretty close to what I would say. I like your stop loss on that one as well. Again, you might be stretched a little bit on your expectation, but again, the biggest thing is just knowing where you're going to get out if everything goes wrong. You can always figure out, okay, it's running into trouble at 45, maybe I'll cover my profit. If it runs into trouble at 45, you're still talking about a 10% profit. So just remember, when it comes to the profit side, just do not get greedy. LLY, that's Lilly, right? Eli Lilly. Yeah, so it's been on a little bit of a downward trend lately. I would wait. Let me see. When were you saying to get in? Entry at 115. Okay. If you want to wait for extra confirmation, I'd personally go with 116 for the entry. You might have to wait a little bit longer because it's probably going to go up a hair, then come back down a little, and then continue to go up. But I'm all about waiting for confirmation personally, especially when it comes to actual physical stocks. Let's see, with the price target of 117. I mean, if you wait as long as I wait, I think you could get your price target up to about 122, 120 to 122. You'll run into quite a bit of resistance right around 120. So you might want to up that. It just depends. That's just my 2 cents on it right now. Good company overall. I mean, I think it will continue to trend up overall. So I'm interested in that one myself, actually. Dinner time. Have a good dinner there, Luis. Have a good one. VST. Vista Energy. I don't know with the energy companies right now. So let's see. We found a bounce beautifully off that 21 support, and we are currently at 22.75. You said entry of 22.87. Stop loss. So you got a very short stop loss on that. I think this thing could retest 23. Let's see what you said. 23.37. I can see that. I can see 23.37. Your stop loss, you got a very short leash on that thing. I would lower your stop loss to 50 cents. Like, I would lower it. I don't know, because then that messes with your... This one, I don't like this trade the most. I'll say that. Out of all the ones you mentioned, this is the one I least like the most. The one that I like the most so far is LLY, followed up probably by NUGT. These are your two that I'd probably pick from personally. And I like LLY. I like the company. I don't even know a whole lot about like their actual numbers, but I love the fact that it looks like their dividend just got an increase recently, which is good. Let's see, the earnings was pretty much in line with expectations. I like this company. I think, honestly, if you bought this, I would probably hold it longer term. I know you probably won't, but if you are to buy into this company, I would hold this longer term. I think it's going back to 130. As long as the economy stays intact and whatnot, of course, then I think this reaches 130 possibly by the end of the year. It just depends how the next earnings goes, which would be when? Probably October for this company. Let me see. October, November, somewhere in that range is when you'll have the next earnings report. But I like it overall. I like the company. Hasn't really been too disappointing. I mean, if we go look at it for the last 3 years, been on a roll, to say the least. And it looks like for weeks to come, we could go into some more buying strength. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually interested in that one. I want to add this to... I done forgot how to add to my watch list. Yeah, add it to my... I guess I'll do my active watching. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream. Like I said, if you have so far, definitely make sure to smash that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you tuning in. This has been one of the more active streams we've had in a little bit. I'll do this one for you, AMRS. Ooh, it's a penny stock. I do not like penny stocks. 1 year, 1 day. It's up 26% today alone. Chief officer. So it sounds like this is going up. Most oversold stocks. So it sounds like it's up a lot right now based on news. I don't know a lot about... I don't know a damn thing about this company, to be honest. It keeps getting rejected at this SMA. Let's see, you said 371. The SMA is at what? Is SMA at 363? 383 is where the SMA is sitting right now. Entry at 371 with the stop loss of 22. 434. The only problem with that is every time it seems to have touched the SMA on our 1 year chart for the last at least 6 months, it looks like it has gotten rejected every time. That's the only issue. If this thing gets above the SMA and stays above it, then we can talk about this possibly. But as of now, I don't really like it. I don't really like penny stocks to begin with, but how this chart looks, I want to wait for it to at least get above that SMA line and hold above it, not just kind of briefly go above it and then just ultimately crash back down. Their earnings seems to suck. Yeah, horrible earnings. Yeah, I don't know. And earnings should be coming up soon, actually, because that was when? The 18th? Yeah. Are they not reporting earnings anymore? Let me see. That was in March. They should have reported earnings once or twice now. I don't know. I just don't really like it personally. But, yeah. I still say your best bet here is LLY followed by NUGT. But on that note, I'll probably go ahead and wrap this stream up, guys. Hope you guys, like I said, did enjoy the stream. I definitely hope you did. It's all about you guys at the end of the day. And like I said, I'm here mostly more than anything just to kind of share my experience, what I'm doing, what's worked for me, what's not worked for me. And so far what I've been doing with paper trading, the micro E-mini futures has worked. Like I said, for those of you just tuning in and wanting to see, we are up $4,946.25 as I speak on the micro E-mini futures. And the goal is hopefully by the end of tomorrow to overlaps into the 5,000 range. And like I said, I will start using my own money. I literally did a little bit of side hustle. That's why this stream is so late tonight. I was out doing some deliveries, just making some extra money because my fiance agreed that if I go out and do some extra work, just some extra money that we weren't planning on, then I can use that money to start trading micro e-mini futures. Because for those of you that don't know, we have a baby that's going to be here literally any day now. The due date was Tuesday. She's going to be induced on Monday if the baby doesn't come by then. And we're just piling up money. But she told me that it makes sense. She agrees that if I can go out here and make $700, then $700 extra dollars, then I'm free to use it on micro mini futures. So far, like I said, the micro mini future update is just that we are up almost $5,000. So MCD, I'll break this one down for you real quick, and then I am going to get ready for bed. McDonald's a good stock to hold, of course, kind of a buy and hold forever type of stock, at least for the time being. It's at all-time highs, a little too hot for me right now. I would like to see it come back under 200. I know it'll take a while. We're talking correction for the overall market probably for that to happen, but I would like to buy this under 200. So on that note, that is it for this video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, like I said, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. And if you see this after it uploads, let me know in the comments how you're doing so far trading in August and what your goal is for this month. And if you haven't already, definitely make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right by it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving your financial freedom this year. And I will see you guys in the next video very soon. But until then, take it easy, guys.